This is my J-Rock tree. A few years ago, like 5 years ago, a good friend of mine and I, who both like J-Rock, decided we would go to Michael's, buy little Christmas trees, and then print out various photos of J-Rockers. Hence the name J-Rock tree. See? Here, I'll show you. We got Takuya, we got, oops, wrong way, we got Uruha, we got Gat, we got Jasmine Yu, Reita, LMC at the top, but at the very tippity top is an angel. Who is this angel? It's Hyde, from his Jesus photo shoot. So Hyde did it first, not Kanye. Anyway, I figured it'd be cool to show you guys because I love this tree. I have it in my room 24/7, even when it's not Christmas time, and I think it's awesome. But it's also pertinent to what I'm going to be talking about, because this is a J-Rock video, yay! The only J-Rock video I think I made last year was about r.y.u and Mixed Speakers Inc. losing members. And the reason for that was because 2014 was the year of my two children, K-pop and J-Rock. And J-Rock was just hanging out, you know, nothing unusual, totally. But K-pop was throwing temper tantrums, throwing things across the room, screaming its head off, so I had to pay more attention to it than I did to J-Rock. J-Rock got kind of neglected. I'm sorry, J-Rock. So this is a video to catch up on things I missed, and maybe things you missed. This is what you missed in J-Rock in 2014. Now I'm going to be skipping the usual, which is disbandments or members leaving groups. But, you know, some groups that were pretty notable in the J-Rock world did disband. Unfortunately, if you're a J-Rock fan, you know that's nothing new. You know, disbandments happen pretty much once a week. So I'll be skipping over those in favor of more interesting news. So let's get started. Whether you want to admit it or not, 2014 was undoubtedly the year of BabyMetal. And I know their genre is cute metal, but I can't make a video dedicated to all cute metal acts because they're the only ones, so they're going in the J-Rock video. First of all, they announced that they were going to be doing a world tour, which mostly consisted of Europe, which is fine because that's more than most Japanese groups get to do. But they were also picked to perform on the main stage of Azarathsflamee, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, metal concerts ever. It's kind of like Lollapalooza, like they gather a bunch of different metal groups and they all perform, stuff like that. So it was a bunch of different metal acts, and BabyMetal was picked not only to be there, but to be on the main stage, and have their own performance, which some people were happy about and some were salty about, but I thought it was awesome. BabyMetal performed, and surprisingly, they garnered a lot of, you know, support, which was great. There wasn't anybody booing them or being super dismissive. Everybody was very open to this idea of cute metal. But the salty tears kept coming because BabyMetal kept sweeping up awards that their metal groups should have won. Mostly what I'm talking about is the Heavy Metal World Cup, which is put on a publication website called Metal Hammer, which is, it was just like an online poll with like brackets, like this person against this person, and whoever won moved to the next round, and BabyMetal won. And metal fans were pissed. They were so mad. But what was more awesome was something else that BabyMetal won, which was that they finished 5th on the Billboard World Albums chart of 2014. That made them the highest place finisher in Asia. And that's pretty cool. Again, that's a testament to how popular they've got, but it's super awesome and trolltastic because they beat out 21, who got number 9, and EXO, who got number 7. Like, when can you ever say that BabyMetal beat EXO in anything? So I think this was a great year. And now BabyMetal is already starting things off hardcore by collaborating with Dragon Force to release a song called Road of Resistance. And if you don't know who Dragon Force are, let's take a little trip back down memory lane and see if you recall a franchise called Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero, you know, that one that comes with the guitar, you hit the buttons, whatever, but it came with a song called Through the Fire and the Flames, which is arguably the most difficult song ever to perform in any of the Guitar Hero franchises. those are those guys. That's Dragon Force, and now they and BabyMetal are releasing a song together. I cannot think of a better way to start off 2015 for them. So, I hope for many good things more to come from BabyMetal. But 2014 was definitely their year. Unfortunately, this year was not the year for some groups. I found it a very strange thing that happens in J-Rock, but unexplained deaths happen. One that was extremely shocking to me was the death of Kay, the guitarist in Moi Dix Mois, aka Mana's group. He passed away, and there's no detailed information on his death. All that was said at the time was that he was found dead in his home, and Mana commented on his blog that it was so sudden and shocking and he couldn't find words to it. And the reason it was shocking to me was because, well, first of all, Moi Dix Mois is definitely a group that's more well-known and prominent in the J-Rock world. But also, think back to Mana, okay? Kami and Mana were in the same group, Malice Miser, and Kami died when Mana was in that group. So this is the second time this poor guy has had to deal with the death of a member of his group. Like, my heart broke thinking that. I mean, my heart broke thinking of the other members as well. I was brought back to my own sadness of the news of Jasmine Yu passing away. But this is the second time that Mana's had to go through this. They took a hiatus, as, you know, I expected them to. And it was announced in December by Mana on his blog that they have replaced because, you know, they're not really replacing him, they're just, you know, they need someone to fill in the spot that Kay left. But they found a new guitarist whose name is r.y.u, previously of the band Omega Drip. And he changed his name from r.y.u to r.y.u. It's spelled like that, and I don't know how to say it. I'm also hoping that 2015 just becomes Moi Dix Mois' year as well. And because it's been 2 years since their last album, so I'm hoping that with this addition of the new guitarist, they can release some new stuff, and I want to get to know r.y.u.'s, you know, style, because I never listened to Omega Drip. But again, there was no detailed reason for Kay's death, but I hope he is also resting in peace. It's just tragic, especially when it's unexplained and so sudden. Now this one's gonna be like a look at a little more positive stuff. Members coming back to groups, or groups kind of reforming to, you know, keep going. And Mixed Speakers Inc. is one of them. They are one of the only J-Rock groups I talked about last year. But they have gained a new vocalist. After Yuki's departure, they decided that they wanted to keep being a dual vocalist group, which meant that there's 2 singers. And they decided to recruit Nika, who was formerly known as Keita in Monolith, who disbanded this year. So it's kind of clear that Keita/Nika wanted to keep going in the music scene, which is awesome. He didn't officially join the band until December 7th, but he is in promotional shots with Mixed Speakers Inc. He seems to fit in very well. And I like the sound of his voice, so I'm hoping good things for Mixed Speakers Inc. now that they have found Nika. So hopefully that will come this year too. Someone else that returned to the music industry was Mayu from Daizystripper. Yay! He took a break for personal reasons a little earlier in 2014, but he said he is ready to return. And I was honestly worried because Daizystripper is one of the few pretty solid groups in terms of like members and stuff like that. So I was very worried when they kept, not that they kept going without Mayu, but also just like they released a whole album without him. So I was really worried. He came back in September. He had left the group for 8 months before that. So I'm excited that he's finally back because, like I said, they're one of the few groups that I really want to stay that 5. I think they all jive really well together, and I'd genuinely be sad if Mayu left for good. So I'm glad that he's all nice and recharged and he can keep making music with Daizystripper again. Something I got teased with, I was so crushed because when I first saw this, I misread the name of the article title. I saw this picture. which is an updated picture of Despair's Ray, and I was like, oh my god, they're coming back, but no, it's just for their 15th anniversary little get-together concert. I mean, they're one of the few groups. They're a group that I wish was still together, like probably more than any other group, but them doing stuff like this, it makes me extremely happy. And I'm glad that they still, you know, want to get together, perform their old songs, do stuff like this. It makes me happy. So I was bummed out that they weren't getting back together, but at least they are still making music together, and that's all I could ever ask for.